different. We are going to provide an honest look at Ole Miss athletics, the fan, by the fan, and the fan. That is what we do. Hell be to me. I'm just kidding. Tune in for some Ole Miss sports news. We're going to give it to you straight. Yeah, right now. The podcast starts now. It happens now. Holy cow. Listen to me. It's starting. Well, it's going to start right about now. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope everybody is having a fantastic Thursday, January 21st, 2001. What a great day it is. It's my sister's birthday, so I got to get on that after this. So I hope everybody is having a day. I really am. Today we are going to hit the full team exit interview. We're going to kind of go game by game. That planning, we might deviate. We usually do. We're going to talk about Coach Yo. She's 7-4 at the moment. The women's basketball team is 7-4 overall, 4 in the SEC. Got an SEC in. And that's a situation where they just need time. They were at the rock bottom and had to build from essentially nothing to get where they are. And it's slow. You're starting to see incremental gains. So, it is really good to see. And we're going to give you a little update about our little project. Chris Thrasher was going to come on this week. It's probably going to be next week. A piece of equipment that I needed did not arrive, which puts everything a day later than before. Basically, it's a giant rack mount to put gear into that I can't set up until it gets here. That really should have been the first product that got here. But instead, they shipped all the stuff that needs to go in it, and we're waiting the actual rack. So there we are. The studio is coming along great at the moment. We are probably going to paint this weekend. That'll be our background so we can use chroma key, basically green screen. And we also have a stand-up studio being built right now, being constructed. It's pretty good. Diplomas, media presses, the Independence Bowl flag from 1983. My grandfather's flag from the military, stuff like that. The wall looks really good, and it's I think going to be a lot of fun. It's going to look great. I've got a board up there where I'm considering like doing Woody Hayes type stuff and writing messages on it, or drawing up a ball play or something like that, just to put in the background. So that is that. We're looking at 3 camera angles from the start of the POMcast. Just have to figure out how we want to do them. That should be a good fun. And it's going to be great. Once we get the equipment out of the box and up and running, we can start building a show. And that's the goal. That's the reason we're also setting this for April. You're like, wait, it's January. Why you got to wait till April? Because we want this to be right, and we want this to look complex but simple. And in order to do that, we have to familiarize ourselves with the equipment. So that is that. Before we do the show, you can follow us on Twitter at Stephen Willis, at Old Positively. Just to let you know, my personal is the Stephen Willis. I am no longer going to be tweeting about politics unless there's another existential crisis to the Constitution. So if you want to, you want safety and you want to know what's, well, now that that's gone, you can count on about a 70 spread of Ole Miss sports and me personally. You can catch us on Facebook at facebook.com/POMcast. And of course, you can hit our YouTube channel at Positively Ole Miss. Just search it. There's lots of great things on there. The coaches' reviews, greatest games, 2020 games on demand. That's all on our YouTube page, Positively Ole Miss. And of course, you catch us on Twitch at Positively Ole Miss, all one word. You can catch us if on audio, and even after we go video, we're still going to release an audio version. Catch us on Google Podcast, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Spotify, TuneIn Radio, iHeartRadio, and Pandora. Leave a review if you would, 5 stars. You can say whatever you want to, but that'll just help with the algorithm whenever it gets searched if you do that. Also, if you see this on your social platforms that we've all gone over, you see the podcast, do me a favor and retweet it, share it. You can start to get used to commenting on it or asking a question at hashtag POMcast. That whenever we'll be able to post question screen of your Facebook page question and give you the credit you deserve for the question, and all of our guests will be able to see it. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we might be able to get some stuff answered for you. Again, we're going to do things on the show that fans are interested in. We want to cover from the fans' perspective. We do not cover it as a stuffy media personality that just try to entertain themselves because they have no real attachment or interest in the subject matter. We do things like uniforms, we do all kinds of stuff, the Grove, everything, anything you think of. And because we are doing that, we're going to be much more flexible than they are and actually give you what you want, because a lot of those guys won't say it now, but they don't cover stuff because it won't make them money. And so why waste effort on something that won't make you money? As you see in segment 3 today, we're going to talk a little about Coach O and women's basketball, and that's one of those black holes for those guys. So, like I said, we're going to do things a little bit differently, and it's going to be fun. Anyway, segment 2 coming up. This is like the full team interview for Ole Miss football. So, Willis, POMcast, stick around.
Only 10% of us enough daily exercise.
And that number is dropping.
Nearly 30% of them are overweight or obese.
We spend 6 hours a day in front of green.
As a result, we now have a shorter life expectancy than our parents.
But give us a start in sports and never stop.
Learn how at activelife.ca.
Hey, this is Stephen Willis from Positively Ole Miss. We're almost done with this break. We'll be back with information quite soon.
The military has been in every generation of my family, and so has VA. It wasn't easy for my dad after Vietnam, but VA, him and my mom, the home they'd always wanted. My has been coming to VA since World War II. They even helped him lay to rest one battle buddies from Normandy. And me, I've been their footsteps and served with pride. And now out of the military, the GI Bills help us school. Every generation of my family has served, and VA served us all.
POMcast, Stephen Willis, welcome back. Hope you are having a great Thursday. It's kind of fun to just sit. It's supposed to be 81 degrees this weekend where I am. 81 degrees in January. I like it. We're probably about a month or two away from me being able to use my pool. That's what I'm here for. I'm living the retirement lifestyle right now. That's what I'm doing. It's one of those things to where you want to be able to work to live as opposed to live to work. That's kind of where we are. I mean, we bought the new house, we did the move, no car notes, no credit card bills, no house note, no thing, and we just basically are spending on operational expenses, and that is a pretty amazing place to be in, to be honest. And I can't believe we got here, but we did, and that's the reason we were able to do this for you. So, exit interviews, our last exit interview of the season of the entire football team. We did it by positions. We did it by coaches. Now we're just kind of doing it in totality. What is the grade of the team this year? And I started to think, 5-5, that screams C. Number 3 offense in the country, or where they landed, that screams A. Bottom line defense, that screams F. Special teams F. So, well, not the special teams are probably. I think I gave them a C minus or a D minus or a D plus, something like that. But with an A and F, it's going to come down to that special teams grade. I'm going to about C minus, and that might seem a little bit hard, but remember, we're building for the future, and everything is based off of building from the future. And we went 5-5 last season, with 2 out of the 3 units being below average. Think about that. Now, somebody's going to say, hey, our run game was good, or, our coverage was good. Yeah, but I'm concerned with our field goal. Our most important unit on special teams is field goal, especially now we're just not punting. You are below average if you take away that, because that is actual points that are being taken off the board. It makes sense. They have a chance to be complementary to that offense, where if we get to the point anywhere inside the 30-yard line is guaranteed 3 points, all of a sudden the offense gets that much better. And it also takes a little stress off of that defense. It's about accumulating points. I mean, that's really what we're talking about here. It's about accumulating points. And because the unit was below average, it made the offense a little bit below average. Now, you look at our scoring per game. We finished at 38, a number that is below where we should be if you look at our stats. And that is because the kicking game was below average, and we were losing points there as well. Now, Caden Cosmo, kid son out of, I think, Mandeville. He's in the New Orleans area. He's a big tad and a need, but he's still going to be a freshman. But if he has a range of greater than 30 yards, it's already a plus of where we currently were. I mean, we had a kicker that kicked the ball 55 yards in the air. Distance wasn't a problem. You just didn't know where it was going to go. So range was about 30 yards and in. I mean, when we got to the back bowl, I don't think anybody expected those field goals to go in. The 2 that he made, inside 30 yards. So for 2 or 3 years, our range in the field goal game was 30 yards. To put in perspective, that's 13-yard line. We have to get it to the 13-yard line or in to have a chance. That's half the red zone not available to us. That's why our red zone and scoring and everything down because of that. So if we can make it to where if we get into the red zone, we are guaranteed points. If we hit the 25, 30-yard line, that's a guaranteed 3 points. A scary Wonderlick. I hope you're doing well, Gary. But, I mean, that is a big problem. Something that people kind of overlook. And they also overlook the change in the system. I've gone over that several times. But the system is everything. That determines how good a recruit is. Now, the recruiting services put a number out by their name based off of a single offensive system and expect it to be factual. That's the reason half of the 4 stars don't pound. They go into a place that is a system that does not fit them. Yeah, I mean, this is just a simple fact of life. And one, our offense didn't put up the points it could have because of the lack of kicking game. That happened. But anyway, we finish up. I'll give them about a C minus, even with the Outback Bowl. They finished 5-5. The game we missed was Texas A&M, so it's probably looking at 5-6 potentially, because we had no kicking game. Think of the stress that put on the offense. got close and didn't make it. I mean, he might not even make the field goal. I think it's 3 or 4 extra points this year. That has to get better. Period. There is no way around it. There's no moving the goalpost. There's no spin. It has to get better. That 40 points a game was not 50 points a game because of the kicker. Because that changes everything. The way you call the game, the way you strategize moving forward. I mean, there's probably some times that we went forward on 4th and 6 inside the 25-yard line that he would have much rather send a kicker out because it wasn't a slam dunk analytical. Because whether you want to admit it or not, they didn't call completely off of the analytics sheet here. There's some gut feeling involved in there. And on 7 from the 18-yard line, he just was going to go in. So we might well go for it because we're not going to get a points either way. We just really struggled on that aspect of the kicking game. It was one of our greatest faults. And also stresses the defense because offense has to score. If you get stopped on 4th down, it's a huge minimum swing, and it just stresses the defense so much. It is the single most important part of special teams. It is the one you need to get ironed out, handle above all others. I'm sure the return game is great and the coverage game is great, and all of that stuff. The punting game is great, I'm sure. But without that one, that's points is not going on the board. That is an opportunity to make it 10-0 and it stays 7-0. It's a difference in a 2-score game and a 1-score game. Difference in a 3-score game and a 2-score game. It stresses the defense and changes the way you have to call it in the future if you're extremely weak in the area. And then, I mean, that's just kind of the way it is. And it really is a shame, but to me, everybody points to the defense. I point that area as the weak point of the team. Even though my grade say was, the fact that he made some brings it up a little bit. But uncertainty in that position, you literally held your breath every time it was his turn to kick the football. And it was just a confidence issue. And he had a big leg. He kicked the ball straight. I bet in practice he was nailed. But you get to a game, and he just doubted himself. And the ball would go left, the ball would go right. It would not come off. If you go to the golf course, it's not coming off the club the same that it was on the driving range. I mean, there's a little bit of an angle either way, a little bit of a slide, a little bit of draw. I mean, that was happening to him. And it was a confidence thing. And got in his head, he started worrying about it and started thinking, and he just didn't pull himself out of it. I mean, what else can you say? I mean, the kid tried. I thank him for everything he did for us, but, I mean, just didn't work out. Sometimes it does. Anyway, segment coming up. POMcast, Stephen Willis around.
You want to answer that, don't you? I bet it's just killing you, being the glow just inches away. Someone wants to tell you something or ask you something. Oh, come on, answer it already! Just so we're clear, that wasn't my fault. Next time, ignore your inner voice. Don't text and drive. A message from Florida's Choice Independent Insurance Agents.
Hey, this is Steve Willis. I just want you to stick around a little longer. We're going to get back to the podcast right after these messages.
Tonight, nearly 40,000 veterans across the country are homeless. Men and women have pledged to serve our nation, and now we must serve them. Landlords across the country have helped make significant progress in reducing veteran homelessness by making housing available, but there is more we can do to bring our veterans home. Visit www.va.gov/homeless to see how you can get involved. And if you are a veteran or are experiencing homelessness, please call 877-48-VET. Thank you.
POMcast, Stephen Willis, thank you for tuning in on this Thursday morning, January 21st. Nice here. I don't know if it's nice, but it's nice here. And that is something else. We are, like I said earlier in the show, waiting on a key piece of equipment that is going to delay us bringing our Chris to the show for his debut segment. You're going to have to wait till next week. I'm going to wait for next week. And get our Oxford correspondent. He'll tell us what's going on the ground there. And what else is going on? We're going to start kind of getting our format, which is going to be similar to this, but it won't be exactly this. I mean, we did this podcast and started doing it so many months ago just to basically get me off the ventilator and used to talking again. To my radio days, and we were able to do that. As you can probably tell, the improvement is considerable, but you know, it's going to change up a little bit. Like I said, whenever what we're doing is designed to be flexible. I mean, that is the main end of what we're doing. We're not worried about making a ton of money. We're not worried about something else, you know, covering stories that only make us money. No, we're more interested in just talking about the things that we're interested in. Being different, being our own way, taking the road less traveled, so to speak. That is what we're planning to do. And in doing so, we're probably going to create something extremely unique. Extremely good looking, and basically fill all the needs of a person interested in old sports. I mean, that's just natural things that we're going to do. Just going in. Because hopefully this is all going to come off as we're fans. And that's what we want to do. Anyway, Coach Yo. I like Coach Yo a lot. Coach is, great. She started out on fire, undefeated non-conference slate, including went over Kansas. But like I told you a couple weeks ago, I didn't know if it was a mirage or not. The wins, came over 3 SWAC schools, George Mason and stuff like that. They got beat by LSU over time. Okay. 4-point loss versus Auburn, 4-point loss at Mississippi State. Big time. Then it became 9, and then they got beat by like 16 at Georgia. 4-point over Auburn. I'm sorry. Florida's coming up Sunday. Is this week between games thing in the SEC. It's SEC schedule. But my thoughts are this. They are much more competitive than they were last year. They were competitive at all last year. If they played South Carolina last year and scored points for the game. It's not the case. They take that recruit class and they've put it towards improvement, and they are. You can tangibly see it by the scores. Bear dropping a game at Mississippi State, number 14 Mississippi State. Missouri got them. Georgia got them. But these games are much more competitive than they were last year. And they're sitting right now 7-4. They're 1-4 in conference. Sure, they have a 3-game win streak in the SEC, and they've got a hard road ahead. But this is their team, and they need it. They needed this team. This is an incremental team for the growth. This season will actually help them moving forward. And it's something they could build off of. Last season, there's nothing that could be built off last season. This season feels like trying to learn how to win. And they're going to win some games, they're going to lose some games, but at the end of the day, they're going to be where they need to be. And next season could be really great as long as, Coach O continues the recruiting build that was started last year. So, if you are interested in men's basketball at all, some fans, they really like it. This team on the cusp. And they're trying to get there. They're young. They're, freshmen and JUCO players being asked to make a lot of plays. But they're on the cusp. And doing so, the corner turned, they have a chance to be really good. And Go is doing a fantastic job, and thank goodness that she is here. So, anyway, that's the show. Man, just snuck up on it. Tune in tomorrow for more POMcast. Anyway, I'm Stephen Willis. Howdy,